Aloha, and welcome to my radio desk here on Molokai, Hawaii. I want to finish out the Retekess V115 shortwave radio series. So this is my final thoughts video on this model, and we'll go through the pluses and minuses, and then you guys have been watching the videos, so you can make up your own minds. But first off, the price point. That always has to be in mind when you're going over these radios. I picked this up for about $16.50 or somewhere in that area off of Amazon. I checked just before, I checked last night, and the radio's, I believe it's $22 right now, but there is a coupon, so it puts it under $20. It's $19 and some cents on Amazon right now. So didn't go up much, still a budget-friendly radio. And and that was off Amazon. You can check. It might be cheaper other places. I really don't know. I haven't checked out eBay or Temu or AliExpress. So check those out, those other places, and you might even be able to get it a little bit cheaper. But the radio itself, in looking now, it does come. If you look, it comes with a battery too. I've done what I ended up doing here is I'm comparing it to a couple of the other budget-friendly radios that I did reviews on. The XH Data 219, and then I did a Rhinison also. That was only like a $7 radio. The XH Data 219 I got for, I believe it was $9. I think that might be up to about $11 right now. But again, didn't come with a battery, didn't come with a rechargeable battery. So that right there definitely makes a difference with the when you're talking about price. So this is ready to go right out of the box. You don't really have to get anything else. Now it does have the other feature that a lot of radios don't have, and that is the MP3 recorder also, and you can put in a SD card in there. So that would be another expense, but a lot of people have those laying around, and you can just pop that in here. So you can record off the radio and have some files that you can listen to. You can also use it as a voice recorder. I didn't test those features because in general I didn't need them, but I wanted to point them out because it is a nice feature with this radio, and it might be very useful for some people. And especially if you're doing recordings or putting them on the internet or just making up files. So, good positives. It's actually built really well, I think. I think this case, the plastic is pretty good. It's kind of right in the middle. I really like the XH Data 219, even though it was, it had the bar on it, for the screen. It wasn't digital. But I got used to that. I'm the older generation too, so I'm used to having that analog type thing, and it was actually pretty good for tuning. It was nice. This one, the controls, I got some fat fingers here, but they're big enough and set far enough apart where I really didn't have any issues. But it did lack a couple things that I'm just used to, so I think if you got this radio and if it's your first one, these things are probably not going to bother you. But is that like for the volume control? There's no volume wheel or anything like that. A lot of radios have the buttons for up and down on volume, and these are right here. But they also have a wheel. And the wheel is just, I don't know, it's just kind of easy, and it's, again, something I'm used to. So you do have to click this up and down for volume control. The second one, and this is the biggest one to me, and I wouldn't say I'm an ultra serious DXer or anything like that, but I really do like to have a tuning wheel. And this does not have a tuning wheel also. So you're relying on either punching a frequency in, which isn't a big deal, especially if you got your favorite shows and favorite programs that you know where they're at, and you can get them on there, and it works flawlessly and works easy. Or you can do a search, and you can flip through the buttons to change the band. Start at 9,500 kilohertz, and then it'll scan the stations for you and then stop and save it when you find a frequency that's active. But the only thing about the searches, and I've mentioned it before in my other videos also, is that there's a lot of false noise. And so sometimes they're stopping when there really isn't a station there. So in general, some radios do that a lot, where it's almost 50% of the stops that they have are just noise. This one, I'll put it at about 10 to 20% are noise instead of an actual frequency that's broadcasting anything. But I'm just not a fan of the scan feature. The only time I really use scan feature is if I'm in a new area, if I'm traveling, and I just want to check and see what I can pick up without doing anything else. But if I had a tuning wheel, I'd be using that also. But I would first do a scan and see where I'm at, and then maybe go in between there to see if there's any faint stations that are there that the radio's not picking up. So that's one of the things that I definitely like about the Crane is the turning wheel. It's a nice turning wheel. It does have clicks, which at first I wasn't really too hot on, thinking that there might not be enough play in there. Sometimes if you have a little bit of wiggle room, you can come up with a better signal, and focus it on it. But if you push this in, it actually has a fine tune. So it goes from going up 5 kilohertz down to 1 kilohertz. So you're really getting a good fine tune on it. I really like this wheel. It also does have the up and down arrows, which you can adjust the frequency on. Not here on the Retekess. So it does make it a little bit harder to do some DXing where you're trying to find some stuff. You're actually relying on the technology of the radio to find it for you. You can go up and down, but that part, to me, it's a negative. Might not be to anyone else. Like I said, if you listen to shortwave a lot and you have the frequencies that you go to because you have certain shows on there, that's not going to bother you at all. The antenna, it's not the longest antenna. As you can see here, the Crane's is a good, maybe almost, it's 8 inches, maybe even a foot taller, but it still does an adequate job, and I think it's okay that you're not going to have a problem with it if you with reasonable care compared to any other radio. I do kind of like this feature. It's kind of neat with the lanyard, so you can put it around your wrist, and it does have this plastic piece here that's got the little knob in it, and if you put the knob right in there, then you got your tilt. And the tilt is really handy when you're sitting at a desk, sitting at a table, and want to make adjustments or trying to find a frequency on the radio. So I really enjoy that. The speaker, yeah, it's typical in this budget class, but it's still pretty good. It holds its own. And that's what I'm comparing. I'm not comparing it to my Satellite 800, to the Grundig or some of the other higher ends. Some of the Texans have some really nice speakers in their radios when you get up into the $50, $60 class and higher. But for what this is, yeah, it's fine. The power, you turn the power on and the screen comes on. There's no signal strength meter. Again, not a huge deal because you really don't know how accurate those are, but it is a gauge, and it would be the same on all of them. So I do like to have that, especially when I'm doing these comparisons. You could tell when I was doing the antenna series, I was able to show the signal strength meter on the Crane or on the Grundig, of course. But on this one, it doesn't have one, so you really just had to go by what you were hearing, which is fine because you could tell that way too. So again, not a huge thing. All in all, I do think this radio is worthy of a buy at that price point. It's got a couple features, especially if you want to do any type of recording. That's definitely a plus. It held its own with picking up stations. And the one thing I do want to mention, comparing this to the XH Data 219, that one, if you were in an area, if you were close to the radio station where it was really booming a signal, that one would have so much bleed over into other frequencies that it would be 25, 30 kilohertz above or below the frequency that it was broadcasting on, and it was so strong you couldn't even if there was another frequency broadcasting either 25 or 30 kilohertz below or above it, you wouldn't be able to make it out. You wouldn't be able to hear it because it would have been drowned out by that loud booming signal that you were getting. Didn't have that problem with this radio. I do, like I said, I like that XH Data 219, but that was the biggest problem on that one. But again, for $10, get you in the ballpark, get you listening to the radios, get you listening to shortwave again. So for $10, it was still okay. This one, again, it's about it's $5-6 more, but it didn't have that issue. But the other one did have the turning wheel. So with a couple, there's always going to be something, right? There's always going to be something that you wish it had. Again, I wish it would have an external antenna jack. That's another big one that it just makes it easier than using the alligator clips. And I've got some antennas here that I do use that for when I'm evaluating these radios. So you just clip the alligator clip on to the antenna. But it does seem to, whenever I have an external antenna jack, I always do the test by using the alligator clip and using the antenna jack. The antenna jack is always a better connection, so you get better reception. Is it a huge difference? No, but there is a difference. So keep that in mind. But with this type of radio, it did make a difference with it. When you had an external antenna on it, you could see the head-to-heads with the crane. They were both bringing in those stations, and the Retekess held its own. I'm not saying it's the best radio, but it's okay. It's definitely in that price point. I would give it a recommend. If you find it on sale somewhere, in that under $20 range. Yeah, I think this is good with the rechargeable battery. Heck, I live in Molokai, so I bought the battery for the K180 WLA antenna. That cost me $11 just for the battery. This isn't the same type of battery, but again, it is a recyclable, a rechargeable battery. So there's some value there. So that probably actually puts the value of the radio down towards the XH Data 219 because you get that battery and you're ready to go. But there you have it. Let me know what you think. Do you have one of these Retekess V115s? I have some people already messaged me, and they did have it. They love the record feature. Actually, just had someone mention that they didn't really think much of the radio, but after seeing the AM video and how well it did there, they had a better opinion of the radio. And they give them away. This is actually a good radio to buy to give to somebody who's talking about starting in shortwave radio. It's not because they're going to be starting. I don't think it's going to be frustrating, not having some of those features until you start talking to them after they're listening to it for a while, and you can tell them what else is out there. So it's a good starting point, and it would work really well for that type of thing. But it's also cheap enough if you just want to have something to throw in the car, throw in your suitcase. If you break this thing, it's not going to be the end of the world at that price point. And they seem to be readily available. I never had them whether they were out of stock or anything. So you'll be able to replace it really quick too. So let me know. Send me some messages in, and I'll be happy to answer them. And that'll end this Retekess V115 shortwave radio series. From my radio desk here on Molokai, Hawaii, aloha.